Dude, do tell, man. Do tell.
So I was following Andre's advice and I went and just adding different recruiters, connecting with them. And one of them said, "Hey, I got this position at Deloitte. I'm a Deloitte recruiter." He sent my resume off and it came back. He said, "For this position, you don't have enough experience." I was like, "Oh, okay." But well, we'll see what happens. And then he emailed me about a week later and he said, "Hey, you might be on the lookout for an email from a recruiter named KT. They looked at your resume and they might be reaching out to you." And sure enough, they reached out to me. We had 2 rounds of interviews. We had a behavior interview, and we had a technical interview. And then they called me back and they offered me a position.
Congratulations, man. That's just awesome news. The so this was a position that wasn't the same position that you originally went for, but they liked what they saw, so they found something else and approached you on that instead.
Yes.
That's so cool, man. I know that kind of stuff happens, man. It pays to be aggressive, yeah?
Yeah.
So what is your official title going to be?
Linux administrator.
Okay, excellent. And when you start, like 2 weeks or?
So they said throughout they need to do a background check, and that time frame takes us to like 11 March. But they have 3 different locations for this one position. One's in Phoenix and one's in Orlando. And me and the wife would much prefer to go to Orlando. And so I asked him like, "Hey, what is the process like?" And so the recruiter's getting back to me. She made it seem like it's just like fill out a couple forms and we'll be going to Orlando, or we could be staying in Phoenix. Either way, we'll be thrilled and ecstatic. Yeah. So we don't know where we're going to be at just yet.
Well, get ready for the humidity, man. If you come to Orlando, I'll tell you right now, man. But
I'm from South Louisiana. I was born in.
You're used to it, so. Yeah. Well, so dude, tell me a little bit about the interviews, man. Did you feel like Yellowtail was like got you good and prepared for what they asked and everything?
Oh, absolutely. The first interview was the behavior interview. So all the questions that me and you had, every mock interview tell you about stuff. I was able to continue to tweak that. You gave a lot of good feedback, especially on the guidance of, hey, take the fact that you were in the military and you were, it's where you learn how to figure things out, and transition that to Procore Plus as well. So I did that. Before my interview, I looked the guy up. He didn't have much on his LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So I looked him up on Facebook, and he had this like cute little white dog, and I have a little fluffy dog. She's like 8 pounds, and so that was something that
you found the common common denominator there. Yeah.
So I mean, I brought that up. We had a great interview. He was very responsive to all my questions from behavior interview. I thought that interview went fantastic. And then the second round of interview, the tech interview, was with a Air Force vet and a Marine vet. And I felt like I had made really good. I felt like the Air Force vet was ready to hire me right on the spot.
Yeah.
But the Marine, I was like, oh, I don't think he's like.
Those Marines are tough, man. Those Marines are tough.
I wasn't getting too many good vibes, but before the interview started, we were just talking. I didn't know what his role was in this process, but I was asking where they were at, and we made a connection about going to the beach and just enjoying time on the beach. Just something that we both kind of liked.
Yeah.
And towards the end, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm getting good vibes. I answered all the questions as honestly and best as I could. It's like, hey, look, I don't have experience with that, but I know how to do this or something of that nature.
Nice. So you concentrated on what you do know.
Yeah.
That's, man, I got to tell you, man, it's like first off, you made this look pretty easy, man. And, watching you and talking to you during your search and everything, I admire the fact that you got out and got involved, not only on LinkedIn, but I know you went to some meetups or some different conferences and
Yeah,
things like that.
where I got the hat
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
The
And
West
start,
Conference.
start meeting some people and yeah, expanding your LinkedIn is only going to help. How much has your LinkedIn contacts grown since you started the job search?
So I started probably right around 200, maybe 210 max. And right now I'm at like 550.
Wow. Wow. So the cool thing about that, and this is the other thing that a lot of people are very short-sighted when they think about, developing their connections and their network on LinkedIn. It's kind of like, okay, I got a job there, don't have to deal with it anymore. No, man, you continue to do that, and that's what they call managing your career, not just getting a job, but managing your career and everything. And that stuff will come back and pay off in, huge dividends in the long run.
So I haven't started on this game plan, but I set a goal for the end of the year to increase to about 4,000 connections. And that way, when I need a job later on, it won't. I'll have that basis of that network ready to go.
Well, and it gives you an opportunity in the meantime to establish your reputation as somebody that should be taken seriously, and somebody that cares, somebody that's passionate about doing this kind of work and everything. And ultimately, I think that's what everybody's looking for, is that person that is going to want to come into the office every day or log in every day, whatever, the case may be. Um, so tell us a little bit about your experience at Yellowtail and going through the curriculum and everything. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you didn't have or had very little technical experience prior to coming to Yellowtail, correct?
Prior to coming to Yellowtail, I either had zero technical experience or I might have had a little time on the help desk, maybe like a month.
Okay.
But other than that, I had no clue what Linux was. My help desk experience, well, my tech experience was, hey, my computer is not working. Well, let's try like restarting it. Everything was graphic interface, nothing command.
Yeah.
So I went from knowing zero commands, nothing, to how I started this process with the AWS class. And it starts off with Linux. And my Linux professor, David, he was so enthusiastic. He did such a great job of teaching the class that there was a point that came that we were given an opportunity to switch to the Linux side. And I was like, oh, this would be terrific. Like I enjoyed the Linux class so much. You guys allowed me to switch back over and completed my certification in David's class, got my Red Hat certification. Then I went through the internship at Procore Plus, which was a complete culture shock, because I went from being in the classroom where I was given, hey, this is how you do X, Y, and Z, to go do.
Yeah. Take all that knowledge that you gained and make this happen.
Right. And so first few weeks, it was very frustrating, very just overwhelming. But then I think it was the Kickstart task that came down. I didn't know how to do that when ChatGPT wasn't helping, just for whatever reason. So I messaged a couple people who are also struggling, and Mr. Roel, Danny, and we would figure it out. He would get the Kickstart done. And then I was able to take a step back. I was like, hey, I have training in figuring stuff out that I don't know. And so for the rest of the internship, I'm not going to say it was easy, but there wasn't like, oh my God, I don't know how to do this panic. It was, okay, I don't know how to do this. Let's look at the tools that we have and see if we can figure it out from there, and just keep chopping away at what doesn't work and what does work.
Yeah.
So that was like the real turning point for me, was that Kickstart.
Yeah. And you know what? And I know it's frustrating. And it's by design. I mean, do you feel like you have developed better research and problem solving skills because of it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have the confidence to say I don't know how to. I wouldn't have the confidence to say I may not know how to do everything, but I know how to figure it out, and I
Yeah,
know that whatever
exactly.
you throw at me, if I for whatever reason I can't figure it out, when I come to you with questions, I'll be like, I tried A, B, C, D, E, F. This is what didn't work. This is what did work. Can you give me some more guidance?
Yeah.
But when I do finally have that question, it won't be just, hey, how do you do this right off the
Right, right. That's awesome. I mean, that's exactly, what you're going to be up against, because you're going to be dealing with technologies that you haven't interfaced with yet. Um, the stuff that you are interfacing with now will be obsolete in a year or two, and you're going to have to learn the new version, or the new kid in town that is going to take over and everything. And you got to be adaptable and everything. So
Absolutely.
that's good to hear, because for those that are watching out there, it's not like you get thrown in the deep end with no life preserver, because there are people here when you do get to that stuck point. But like Dustin said, then you're able to go and show them, like, instead of just saying, hey, what, this isn't working, okay, what did you do? It's more like, look, I did this and that, and it's still not working, so now I'm frustrated. And you're going to find that to be true in the job too. Your boss is going to want to make sure that you're going through and doing everything that you can prior to uh taking him off the line, or taking him off of his duties and whatnot, to have to help. So that's cool to hear you say that, man. And I know, again, I know you studied hard, and wasn't it wasn't an easy program. It's not meant to be an easy program, but it's meant to be a program that you will retain and understand what you're doing by the time you're done. What advice do you have for those people that are kind of coming into a program, or our program, and especially those that don't have any IT background, and they're coming in fresh, and it's like, okay, I'm about to be shot from a cannon. What advice do you have for them?
So coming in as a vet, there are programs like the GI Bill and Vet Tech. I don't know if Vet Tech's gonna get funded anymore, but when I was coming in, there's a program called Vet Tech that would have paid for my whole entire curriculum and other programs and different boot camps. And when I was trying to figure out where to go, I didn't know if I made the right decision. After going through the whole process, and then after whenever I had time for my while I was doing my mock interviews, I took an actual boot camp. I had the Vet Tech program pay for it with another company. And if it wouldn't have been for the Yellowtail classes that I took previously, I'd have been so lost in the sauce. I would have had no clue what was going on. It's way too difficult. For example, we covered in one day, we covered 6 weeks at Yellowtail. It would have been way too much. Yellowtail breaks it down step by step, like in time frames you can digest and understand. And if you have no tech experience, going to one of these 1-month boot camps it would have been way overwhelming, because I would have had no clue what was going on.
Yeah.
So take a Yellowtail for someone who has no tech skills, Yellowtail is the perfect place where you can learn, develop, understand, thrive, and then you give them an opportunity with the internship to actually put those skills to use, learn new skills, and it also gives you stuff to put in your resume. Because if I didn't have the internship, I wouldn't have had any. It would have been applying to different positions, and it would have been made 10 times more difficult.
Yeah.
Just because I wouldn't have had, all I had is like school experience, and that when you apply in different positions, school doesn't really weigh that much, in my opinion, from the feedback that I've received from other recruiters. So it was immense, the program in me getting this position. I wouldn't have been able to.
That's awesome, man. And you've continued on. You've still been studying, even though you got your red hat. Like you've picked up a few other certs since,
Yeah,
haven't you?
I got my Security Plus CE certification. I got my AWS Solutions Architect, the associate, and I'm looking into getting like a Splunk or a VM, or even like there's a couple firewall companies that give free training as well. I think
Nice. Does Deloitte have a an opportunity for continuing education that they support and everything?
they do. That was one of the big benefits I really was appreciative of. I think they give like $4,000 a year possibly, which the classes
That's
that I came
incredible.
across is like $2,000. So
Yeah.
my
Well,
goal,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
my goal for the rest of the year is to get 5 more certifications. I haven't figured out what just yet, but
Yeah.
oh,
Well, probably once you get in there and get started, that'll kind of guide you along. You're going to learn, what maybe might be beneficial, or, the more you continue to learn about, the different aspects of being a system admin, there's going to be certain things that probably jump out at you, things that are like, oh, that's cool. I want to learn more about that, or whatever. So, that's the cool thing. It doesn't have to all be done right now. You can kind of continue climbing that ladder as you go, but there's a lot of different forks in the road to take, based
yeah.
on what you're excited to do. So I got one last question for you, man. It's always my favorite question to ask. How's your financial status changed, with the new opportunity there? And you don't have to mention numbers. The smile on your face pretty much says it all, and that's usually what I get when I ask this question. That's why it feels so good to ask.
I mean, it's a world of difference. I mean, I haven't got my first paycheck yet, but knowing what's coming, we're gonna be able to pay off credit cards. We're gonna be able to pay off both our student loans, all of our other loans that we have. It's just gonna be nice next year to be completely debt free. Um, it's gonna be a wonderful feeling.
That's awesome, man. Dude, I'm so happy for you, man. And well, all of us here are, man. You did a good job, man. You not only in your in your job search, but you made friends here with fellow students and other people in your cohort, etc. You utilized the tools that were made available to you, and I think that played a big part in helping you to get out there. So I salute you and wish you nothing but the best, man. And I hope that you'll continue to stay a part of the community, our Slack community and everything. And as always, man, if you ever need anything, we're here.
Thank you so much, Coach Rob. I greatly appreciate it. You guys put together a step plan, and all I had to do was trust the process and just keep at it. And I greatly appreciate the program that you guys put in place.
Awesome, man. I'm gonna let you go, and let's catch up like maybe in 2 months after you've had a little bit of a chance to dip your toe in the water.
Copy that.
All right, cool, man. Dustin, take care, buddy.
Thanks, Coach Rob.
See you, man.
Bye.
Bye.